All right, so much to our surprise, we got a sixth season of Black Mirror. The last time we had
Yeah,
Black Mirror literally was 2019, right? And for me, it was just one of those shows like all right, like for me, right? There's great episodes of Black Mirror per se, right? Hands down, right? But
yeah,
I wouldn't like. I still kind of like when it comes to like anthology shows, right? Especially centering on horror and sci-fi. I still have the Twilight Zone up there as in the original one as the best, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
this one
Right.
really serves its purpose in terms of just showing us. It's just merely like taking what we know about in terms of like technological advances in our lives and just flipping it on its heels and showing us the dark side of all that too, right? And that's what
Yeah,
the show
exactly.
does very
Right.
well. But I will admit though, the 4 year gap between seasons though was a lot because look, we got 2 seasons of Jordan Peele's The Twilight Zone, right? And that ended up getting canceled after the second
Right.
season, right? So there's that. In retrospect, it's kind of wondered if that show was meant to fill that time that Black Mirror wasn't on air, so to speak. But yeah,
Right.
much of a surprise, we get a sixth season, and we got 5 episodes, two of which actually run
Right.
past an hour, in length. And yeah, we'll just basically do like
Yeah.
a quick run through, episode by episode of what happened, right? All right. So first off, we have June is Awful, which for some odd reason is the one that a lot of people are talking about. I could kind of see why, but
Is the one is the most Black Mirror-ish, like to me, in
yes,
terms of like catering to modern technology and then carrying it a little further and all the end. And it is the one that is the most relevant to the season. Like because
yes.
this season was a little confusing to me. It have 3 episodes that thematically are very similar to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 other episodes that just
Yeah,
don't
they,
really
they
line
feel
up
like
as well.
totally different. Yeah,
Right.
it
They, they,
does have
they,
a tonal, unbalance, if you
right.
will, this season. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's solid stuff on its own right. And I'm not knocking it or anything like that, but I just felt. I'll talk about it after, but like I
Yeah.
felt it just
I'll,
because
I'll, I'll,
because it didn't match. It didn't match the other episodes. I felt they could have cut those episodes entirely and then make the 3 episodes longer. But that's how I feel about it. However,
right. So,
um,
so yeah, we'll just run through quickly episode by episode, right? So yeah,
sure,
we introduced to June, who is played by Annie Murphy, right?
yeah,
And she is not the best, CEO. Well, basically she works in this tech company, right? And
yeah, she's
she's not the
trash, yeah,
best, she's not the most likable person in the world. But she doesn't really think
right,
she thinks that she's the opposite, right? But yeah, some people don't really like she had and all that kind of stuff, right? So one day she just comes home with her boyfriend and she activates Streamberry, right? Which in this case is
right.
Netflix, right?
In
Ha ha
in
ha.
in Universe Netflix, right? Yeah,
Right, in universe Netflix, right? And she stumbles upon a show called Joan is Awful, which
yeah,
stars Salma Hayek, right? And what she sees is that Salma Hayek is playing the character of Joan, like, as in
right,
Joan in the story, right?
right.
Literally scene
Well,
by
so
scene,
there,
moment by
there's
moment that
this
we
is
saw
this is
before, right?
so this kind of like the boys afraid theater thing that I mentioned earlier. This is what
Right.
I'm talking about.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. What we mentioned earlier with Bo is Afraid, right? Yeah, where
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like what we're seeing on screen is exactly what's going on in the character's life at in the
Right.
story itself,
Right.
right? So and even if she, even while this show is going on, right? Because it's like a full season that's up. The next day something will happen to her, and then you'll see it play out in another episode of this, right?
More or less in real time.
Yeah.
So where you realize, right, and they basically explain it. A lot of it is complaining about, what's going on in the real world right now with computing and so on. So there's a funny word called computer. That is funny.
Yes. I remember.
That I'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that
it's
just
just
oh sorry. Well, just to round up the premise, right? So yeah, basically, she of course Joan herself does not want anything to do with it, and through some circumstances she runs into Salma Hayek, and then now they're going to go into Streamberry to investigate what's
right.
what's what's going on, right? So I'll just get to my quick thoughts on this, right? Premise wise, you're right. This is the most Black Mirror that we've gotten in the season, right? Because it touches on streaming services and the possibility
Right.
of AI,
Right.
taking over
Chat. All this
movies and TV and whatnot.
Yeah, and all this ChatGPT shenanigans that people worried about, and then quantum computers and algorithms and so on and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
forth.
and
Yeah, go ahead.
and just how it's put together, like it's a great premise. I will not lie, right? And Annie Murphy really commits it though. I like how Salma. reacts to it because surprise, surprise, she doesn't even know. Well, slight spoiler. She's not even in the show itself. It's actually
Right.
like an AI version
You're
of
right.
herself in that, right? And that this
You're right.
leads to something much bigger, right? Which I thought was a really, really
You're
clever
right.
touch, right?
It's a nice twist, yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and I like, yeah, and it actually reminds me of an old episode of Twilight Zone. I forgot the name of it, where it's
Right.
this guy who's watching TV, but the TV has images of people in the TV saying, "Oh, look at what you did," and kind of accusing him of stuff that he did. And he's telling people,
Right.
look at what the person in the TV said," but nobody's seen that. But he's the only person
So
seeing
yeah,
that. So it has a kind of
in
a
the big
old school
reveal,
Twilight Zone vibe to it, which I appreciate.
right? And it's a classic kind of conceit because it's basically it feels like Truman Show meets Doodlebug, right? As a real
Uh-huh.
old Nolan reference, right?
Yes.
But I thought the story was going to go one direction, and it kind of doesn't do that. But that's the smart play, I suppose, in terms of like just wrapping up the story fast enough.
Yeah.
Because I thought they would have done something. But here's the thing: it's a little too similar to our previous episodes in Black Mirror. That is again almost identical commentary, even though it's a different conceit and premise. Almost identical commentary in terms of modern technology. Look how bad
Right.
it is. Blah blah blah. And that's the one with the Reddit Facebook girl who relying on her whole life is thing is
Oh. Um.
the okay, what's the name of that one, boy? The number one with it was upvotes and downvotes effectively.
Right, and then it ended
And
horribly.
right,
I think remember
right.
it
And
ended very
she
horribly.
score yeah, she scored. I think it's
Mm,
season two Black Mirror, but the one with the score being really terrible. And I think it's something to do with the score. I forget the name of
right.
the title. Right, Nosedive. Yes, Nosedive. That's the name of the episode. It's very similar to Nosedive, like almost in terms of premise. Like, is she reliant on this technology? She's kind of a shitty person because she relies on the system of the technology on itself, and she kind of, for lack of a better term, manipulates her own personality to game the system, for the lack of a better term. So there's a kind of borderline cynicism at the heart of it. Same thing with Joan. Joan doesn't know. The only reason that it's a problem for Joan is because she gets exposed. And there's something very unrealistic about this episode. I'll make a dumb joke. Yeah, the Indian guy having bland food is bullshit. Sorry, I don't get that.
I see we
That
get that. Yeah, yeah.
that's nonsense. Sorry,
Right.
but whatever.
But yeah,
But yeah,
but couple gripes for this though. Not all the jokes land because yeah, they're going
you're right. Me
for
too.
humor in this, right? There's
Right,
one attempt at scatological humor which
right.
almost took me out of the show. I get
Right.
why it's done. I get why they do it in the context of the
Yeah.
story and the character, but it's just like, all right, really, like it was just there as shock value in my opinion, right?
Right.
And the end, while I understand what again I do. It's like they was just going really, really good with the premise, and then when you reveal in the end, and then there's some particular actor who shows up. I probably wouldn't spoil who
Right.
it is. Maybe you will, Ricardo. But it's a
Right.
really nice reveal. But then when it ends, it's like, oh, okay, that's how they end it. All right, with
Right.
all that build up,
It's
all
it's
that build up, all that build up, and it just end like poof. Okay. So
no,
yeah,
as I
like I
said,
would just inclusive though, I would say like great premise and the execution was going well. But when it comes to the ending, I have to kind of see this for a couple more episodes in this too. Yeah, when it comes to the ending, it's just like meh.
a little flat. Yeah.
It just fall flat.
Yeah, so no, this thing. Well, I'm gonna kind of talk about the other episode. We'll talk about the general team of three episodes connected. But yeah, um, there's first thing first is this weird TV show that keeps showing up ever so often. Is the name of the show, boy? Um, God, it's slipping my mind.
Oh,
But it
it's
show up
this
all the time.
sci-fi show, I think, right? I forget the name of it.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in one is this a show, and then it's the actor in the other show, and the same show they're talking about, and then they refer to the show again, whatever. But yeah, yeah. As I say, this I thought it would have gone deeper because I thought we would have see Cate Blanchett. That's all I'll see. And so I thought it would have keep going on in the conceit, and it just reminded me a little bit of There's a sci-fi book I read a couple years back that kind of loved, but I felt it could have been a little smarter. That was Fall or Dodge in Hell, Neil Stevenson's book, and it's about layers of simulation, simulacrum stuff now. And when they do it, it makes some sense. And I get what it was going for but to me, when it got to the end, that's when it got really interesting. And then they decided to just wrap it up. And like, all right, I get it, but I felt they could have go a little deeper with that conceit as it is. But it was still fine. I still enjoyed it for what it was. And that would have make it if they could make a tiny change at the ending, and that would have make it a little more interesting. But we'll get into spoilers for that. The ending is great where you see a certain coffee place. All right, nice,
Yeah,
cute.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was, it was.
it's fine. And
It was
they
fine.
move on. It's fine, but
Yeah,
they move on. But
but
yeah,
I
as
just
I
felt
say,
the ending was just like, oof, like,
a little part,
yeah.
a bit part. Yeah, I felt they could have gone a little deeper. I would have make a tiny change at the ending. And if that tiny change would have I think we could have gone a longer way with with it as it is because they mentioned something and it's like, oh, that's an interesting kind of moral kind of thing there, boy. Maybe it could be because that's what people kind of talking about right now.
Right.
And to be fair, it's a lot of bullshit. To be fair, a lot of it is bullshit, but there's some interesting conceits there as it is. We actually had a discussion about this with Tracy, remember the other day,
Yeah.
right, involving Star Wars. But that's all it is. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, still ultimately kind of underwhelming. Like a good premise. It's the most Black Mirror of the Black Mirror episodes this season, but I still didn't love it all that
Right,
much. To
right.
be fair,
Up next,
right,
we have Lock Henry, right? And this is one
right.
of the period
This
pieces, if
is
you will.
probably my favorite one.
Yes, actually, yeah, good thing you say that. I actually
Yeah,
enjoyed it too. Even though
yeah.
there's a moment though where I was like, really we doing this? This is so dumb, right? But I'll mention it soon
Well,
enough.
it had one part that was kind of felt a little rushed, but like it makes sense. Like for the sake of the story, and again the nature of the story, it works. But I didn't love it too much. In fact, I kind of missed it the first time because it happened so fast. I'm like, wait, it happened fast, boy. But we'll talk about it.
Right. So
All I'll say is somebody slipping and falling. That's all I'll say.
that's it. That is it. When I
Right,
saw that, I was
right.
like, really show,
Yeah,
really episode we
yeah,
doing
yeah,
this in 2023.
yeah. That's
Come
what it went
on,
through.
man. Come on. That
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
stupid. That
yeah.
was really stupid. That's all we'll say.
Yeah, that's all
Right.
stupid.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it centers on this guy Davis. He's well, he goes to visit his mom in Scotland. He's there with his girlfriend
right,
Pia. They are film students coming from this London film school or whatever. And they're just, rocking back, just hanging out, right? And well, they learn about this guy by the name of Ian Adair, who this serial killer who kidnapped a tourist couple and torture them in this
right.
cell and whatnot, right? And it kind of led to which I'll say without spoiling anything, kind of led to the death of his dad himself, right? So Pia,
Right.
being the person that she is, just the film lover and just lover of documentary filmmaking, wants to do a story, just wants to make a film about that, right? So they team up with Davis's old friend who running this bar, the owner
Yeah,
of
the bar
which
rundown.
is
Yeah.
a drunk right now, and this pretty much kind of shows up every
Right.
so often to trick himself silly. He's played by John Hannah of all people. I was watching, feels like, hey,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you in
good. Yeah.
this, nice, right?
He from
So
what? The Mummy? I forget what he used to be in.
yeah, he's from the Mummy series. Yeah.
Well, the Mummy, right? Yeah, yeah. He's in
Right.
enough
So,
movies, enough little things he was in. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah, solid
yes,
character actor. Yeah.
yes. And while they try to uncover the truth as to what really went on inside that basement underneath that boarded up cottage, yeah, they started to learn some creepy shit that really went on behind the scenes, right? So for me, yes, you're right. This is the best episode, which isn't really saying much, unfortunately, though. But it is still the best one. I think for me, it's just because of the sort of meta aspect of it. It's about the
Right.
film within a film kind of thing, right? I like
Well, right.
yeah,
Exactly.
and how it plays on the whole urban legend stuff, especially like in a place like in the outskirts there. So it's not in the city; it's more in the
Yeah.
countryside there. That kind of urban legend
Right.
kind of thing. So it plays on
Rural,
that.
rural,
Yeah,
rural.
rural, right? So it plays upon that very well, right? You get some cool jump scares, some well earned jump scares, I must say. I like how the episode kind of ropes you into the mystery, so you want to know what's really going on, right? There's a nice
Right.
setup though, involving a relative of Davis, that's all I'll say, and I like how it all
Yeah.
plays out. As I said before, just
Yeah.
that instance with the slipping. That's all I'll say. Yeah, that I was like
Yeah.
really like that was just so stupid. It
Mhm.
was so random. It was just so stupid.
I didn't like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
and I felt like it kind of cheated us out of like what would have been a satisfying climax and conclusion, right? Because I actually like the conclusion of this too, but I just felt like it just wasn't earned because like everything else around it was good though, but just that one moment is like really that's how they could get rid of that character. Like you couldn't think of anything else. Like come on, man, Dre. Like all they have money, Dre. All they have Netflix money. Come up with some other shit, you know what I mean? But I do like how they play with with analog and digital film as well too. So you see they have emphasis on videotapes and what else? Well, there's a great little montage involving Final Cut Pro, I think it was that they used, right? And just all these moments that it hit the film student in me, right? So I really appreciate that. And again, I just like the urban legend aspect of it and how it really hits home, right? But again, it's just that one moment that just almost took me out to do. But the ending is so beautifully ironic. It is
It's dark.
so dark. It is
Yeah, and it's
so
dark.
Black
Yeah.
Mirror. It
Yeah,
is to the
real
point
dark,
that they
but good.
even
Yeah.
reference Streamberry again. And when I see that, I was like,
Right.
I
Right.
love that. I love that. I love that. If I just have one teeny tiny little gripe to it, because this is just because I don't really latch on to true crime, docu-series. But they give away
Right,
way too much in that
right.
trailer, though. Like, they tell you the whole story in it.
Well, I didn't watch the trailer at all. I didn't watch any
No,
of the
no,
trailer for Black
no,
Mirror, so I
no.
don't know.
I
I just
talk about
went.
the trailer
I went in blind.
in the episode, Yeah, that trailer gave away way too much, though. But I feel like that's the joke, like that's the joke of it. But realistically, they give away way too damn much, man. Like what?
No, that's the production side, marketing side of the thing that they're making kind of. And I want to get into that because we're going to talk about our whole team with episode 4 in particular.
Right, right, right. But yeah, I enjoy it just mainly because of the whole film and urban legend aspect of it. This one was really solid, right? But yeah, Ricardo, your thoughts on Luck Henry?
Yeah, no, this one is probably my favorite episode of the bunch. It catches me with the mystery. It's a great twist in the ending on what they do with it, and it just pitch black ending just get me, but like, jeez, boy, that rough, that real rough, and it just ended where they ended. Like, all right, not bad. I really dug it for what it was trying to go for. Yeah, I can't be mad at it. It's probably my personal favorite episode. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Up next, we have Beyond the Sea. Right. This is the
Right.
first of the two long, extended episodes. Right. As in they clocking at about an hour and 15 minutes tops. Right. It stars Aaron Paul, we boy from Breaking Bad, and
Yep.
Josh Hartnett. Have not seen him in ages. Also,
A
Kate
hot one.
Mara. Haven't seen her in a hot
In
minute
a
neither.
hot. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Josh Hartnett. Where did they dig you up from, boy? Anyhow, right.
Right. So this episode, I just go to straight up say it. This is not a Black Mirror episode. This is a
No,
sci-fi that's supposed to be on Netflix directly or go in theaters. But this is not
I
a Black Mirror
know,
episode.
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
Yeah.
This is a sci-fi that should be on Netflix. I should watch normal on Netflix, and they should just call it Beyond the Sea. I don't know if they're just bury. They like I get it might be part of the meta thing they're going for, but they just straight up put a Netflix movie in the show criticizing Netflix.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So what it's about, right? It's about these two astronauts, right? Who
Right.
they are part of this deep space mission, but
Yeah.
and it took me a while to realize what was going on, right? So it's actually set in 1969, but it's a
Right.
alternate history, right? I thought it was modern
Yeah,
times
it's
that they were in.
right. A retro future kind of scene. Yeah.
Right, right, right. It's only how I picked up on it. Well, I'll get to that in a bit, right? So there are these replicas, right? So
Yeah.
basically cyborgs, basically to look like them, but they
Right.
do this thing where they have both the replica and the human has a watch, right? So they will have it on for a certain time, and there's an alarm that goes off, so the human is sleeping while the and basically the consciousness goes into the replica, so the replica
Pretty
basically
much right.
could
It's
stay
similar to
at home, taking care of the family, and then when the
right.
alarm goes off, then they have to go back and wake back up. So that's it, just.
Yeah, it's similar to oh gosh, remember Bruce Willis had a movie some years back. Oh god, what's the name of that movie, boy?
Um,
Surrogates.
yeah,
Surrogates.
which I remember
Yeah,
avoided, but yeah, yeah,
vaguely remembered. Right.
right.
So yeah, it kind of like that. It's just oh yeah, you put your consciousness in a robot body, cyborg something.
Right,
Whatever.
right, right. So, but what happens though is that yeah, well, Josh's family is attacked now, and actually is only after the fact I realized it's supposed to be a reference to the murder of Sharon Tate, right, which
Right.
was back in
Tarantino,
'69,
right,
right?
yeah.
Because I did wonder
Right,
like
right.
who's these hippie motherfuckers and why they remind me of the
Right,
characters
it's very,
from
very,
from
very
Once Upon a Time in
Charles
Hollywood,
Manson.
and it's like yeah,
Right,
they kind of
right.
are in a sense, right? So it's like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, very Charles Manson-esque. So it's a kind of these kind of retrograde types. I forget the term is called it. Oh gosh, it's slipping my mind. But basically, it's people who abhor technology, kind of against the future. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Normal thing.
Right, right, right. Yeah. So from the so basically Josh is without a family, right? And well, Aaron being Aaron, he decides, here's what, you could use my replica body, and you could just hang out with my family for a bit, just catch yourself, right? And in the process, he kind of falls for Aaron's wife, who's played by Kate
Right.
Mara, and we get some bacchanal, and that's
Yeah,
well stuff,
that's
right?
it. That's it.
So
Yeah.
this reminds me. This is very Andrei Tarkovsky, right?
Right.
Where it's not really about the tech. It's not really about the replicas. It's not really about what's the the advancement in machinery or tech or whatnot. It's about the characters. It's about how they relate to all that, right? So it's very somber. It's very meditative, right? In a sense, like this character having this new lease on life, but it's through somebody else's body. It's not even a
Yeah.
human body, so it's like that. So you could tell that it's kind of like drawing on stuff like Solaris and Stalker.
Right.
It's those kind of shows, right, where it's not heavy on the sci-fi, but it's more on the whole existential nature of it, right? And everybody kind of committed to because like Aaron Paul and Josh Hartnett, they just
I thought
kind
they were
of
great
yeah, they
together.
were great.
Yeah, they
They
bounce off
really
real
like
good. Yeah.
very somber as well too. The way how they move, they don't really react that much until the bacchanal takes place. Kate is great as the wife of Aaron Paul's character and whatnot. And as the title Beyond the Sea, we actually get like this French version of that song. If you remember,
Right.
Finding Nemo, that's the song that plays. So it's like that, right?
Right.
And I kind of appreciate the slow burn of it. This is a slow burn of an episode though. Maybe too much of a slow burn, but whatever. But I do admire how
Right.
it plays out, right? And I do like how it turns for the worse because you saw it coming, eh? Okay,
Yes.
just they're like, all right, at some point in time,
No,
they're
it's
gonna
it's
this arrangement gonna fall apart, right? And it does.
right.
I did
Definitely.
not expect the
No.
end though. I did not expect the well, I should say the climax of it though. The end
Right.
is dark and kind of ironic
Yeah.
though, but at
Pretty
the same
dark.
time, kind of falls a little flat too. Just like, okay, this is how we end it.
A little
All
bit.
right, okay, play Beyond the Sea. All right, that's how we end it. All right, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
as a whole, it's okay. I appreciate it. I get the sort of existential vibe of it as well too, and of course the performances are strong throughout. It's just the ending just needed more oomph to it. It just kind of fizzles out,
Right.
right? But yeah, your thoughts on Beyond the Sea.
No, yeah. As I said, this should have been. I think because I went into it and it's like, all right, this is a Black Mirror episode, kind of. Because yeah, look, it's a sci-fi. I have no problem accepting that, but it just feel like this should have be its own thing, marketed as its own thing. I see a trailer for its own thing, and then I watch it by itself because it have too many big stars. I don't know. Whatever. It's whatever. It's fine. But it works. It's a great sci-fi conceited where it cool enough. They make it interesting, nice, weird alt reality, alt history kind of thing going on. The retrofuturism of it is pretty cool. They make it work for what it is. But I felt if they just flesh it out a little smarter, and again, as I said, more and more think about it, given the nature of the theme of the series, I would have just have this not be a Black Mirror episode at all. This would have be out something else, and then have less episodes. I don't mind that. Whatever.
Right. So up next now we have what is unfortunately the least impressive episode in the season, Maisie D.
Right.
I'm saying this too because it's Sam
Right.
McGill's Zazie Beats, right? So she plays
Right. Right. Right.
Bo. She's this paparazzi, in like the 2000s, I think it was.
Right.
I was struggling to find out what it
Yeah,
was
it's
in
like
the
it's
90s
so
because I saw dial-up in
it's
it.
2006. No, no, it's
Okay.
2006. It's 2006 because they mention a couple things. Shuri Cruz, that is
All right.
Tom Cruise's
Mm-hmm.
daughter, but we see an iPod. I think iPod Shuffle.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um,
Because Bo ended up buying
so I
one
like, all right, and
after
then
one of her gigs.
they was playing that song with this by Amari. This is one thing.
Oh, yeah, Amory.
One
One
thing.
thing. Yes,
Amari,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
One thing.
Which
So I
came
like,
out in
okay, that's when
2005 actually. Right. You're right. Yeah.
right, around that,
Yeah.
right. So I was thinking 2005, 2006, around that time. So it's, because the iPod Shuffle is when I was like, when that come out, whatever. But what happens at Shuri Cruise, they had that on the news now. Like Shuri Cruise is blah blah blah. They're gonna call Shuri, right? Okay, cool,
Right.
right.
So what happens is that because of the nature of the 2000s when it comes to like act celebrities, right? Yeah, she's assigned to find this actress who
Right.
basically
Well,
left a shoot
it's
one day
it's how
and
she starts off because they make another reference to the same movie. Oh gosh, what's the name of the movie, boy? From before now, that she causes something happen involving the star of a movie of that series. Because I think it's a TV show in the
okay,
universe.
okay.
Um,
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
I did pick up on that actually. Right.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So and that leads to just her and a couple of she paparazzi friends more or less finding her, and then it's revealed that she is not who she seems, and that's where things kind of get tuned to the supernatural, and that's all you'll
right,
see. So this is actually the shortest episode in this season here. It clocks in like about 42 minutes, right? I mean, directing wise, it's fine. Acting is fine.
yeah,
Zazie do her thing, right? It's just the story that didn't rope me in at all. I wasn't sure whether it was about the actress and what she was going through physically and psychologically. That's all I'll
right.
say. Or if it's about Zazie because she going through something where somebody that she took a picture of actually killed himself afterwards for reasons, right? So you're not sure. It's kind of like trying to tell both stories, but it doesn't even commit to one. You know what I mean? Even right down to
Right.
the end as well too. And then when you get to actually reveal of it, and you get some sort of horrific moments, I just say like, all right, been there, done that, seen that cliche stuff, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yep.
I will say though, the final moment or shots, if you will,
It's great.
is
Yeah.
great. Like that actually
It's
catch me by
dark. Yeah.
surprise.
Real
Yeah,
dark.
yeah, didn't see
Yeah.
that coming. That actually works, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately it was just, I wanted more out of it. And I think for me it's
Right.
just because like I don't mind the period pieces and remind us, oh, this is how people connected to the internet, and this is how people listen to music, blah 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 blah, right? But I just wish you going in and knew that this was going to be a supernatural episode. I didn't expect that. I think that's like the issue with this one, and to an extent the last episode. Even though I'm actually way more fair to the last episode than this one
Right. Me too.
admittedly,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, other than that though, kind of a letdown, man. But yeah, your thoughts on Easy Day?
Yeah, it does again. As I say, you're there for the plot beings as he beats, right? But no, I thought this was one of the weaker ones, if not the weakest one, in my opinion. And the last one also kind of falls a lot flatter for me. I really thought they would have done something more interesting with that too. But this one's still also pretty weak. Like if you think this is the weakest one, yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you or anything like that. But it's alright, and it because of the I suppose the flashback stuff is okay, but yeah, it's more about the characterization and again it's just the general quote unquote conceit of what going on this season and the self-referential stuff now. So that's about it.
Right. And last but not least, we have Demon 79, right? Which is
Right.
actually, I think, is a Red Mirror episode. I think it's going to be I think it is the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And you could correct me on this, right? But this is more leaning towards the supernatural, right, than the technological, right?
Right.
I think.
Right.
But yeah, what the setup is pretty interesting, right? So we introduced Anita. She is this Indian sales, well, basically this sales assistant, right? She works at this department store, right? And because it's in 1979, they set up the racism in that in England at the
Right.
time though, when it came to minorities. So through some circumstances, she discovers this talisman and it unleashes this demon by the name of Gap. The guy who plays him,
Right.
Papa is Sidu, if I got the name wrong, forgive me. Last time I saw him was in a show called I May Destroy You, which I really enjoyed, right? I should watch it over though. But yeah, he
Right.
was
Okay.
great in that,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, technically he is the Shinigami from Death Note kind of character. Even right
Right.
down to the
Right. Yeah.
costume he has on is like a white version of like what Rook has on Death Note. Like while I was watching this halfway, it's like, oh shit, it's like Death Note though. Like holy shit, like the
A
outfit
little bit.
word, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny too because he is dressed as this backup dancer from this well actually a real life vocal group like a sort of a post disco slash pop band actually from the late 70s. That was cool, right? And yeah, he is this demon. He pretty much tells her, well, the apocalypse is gonna take place in 3 days, right? And I love how they set up, the whole well the turbulent sorry, brought up with with Russia and the other superpowers, acquiring all these missiles and all that kind of stuff. I love how they set it up in the real world, right? It's not just apocalypse just because, right? But yeah, essentially apocalypse is going to take place in 3 days, so she has to kill 3 people in 3 days to prevent that. And the 3 people have to be scums of the earth and so on and so forth. So yeah, we have this pretty timid, character who kind of had to get, crazy, right? And had to bash people over the head with hammers, right? That's her weapon of choice, right? And I'll stop there. So yeah, not the best episode I've seen in this season, of course, right? But I do like the subtext of it, the historical subtext of it, right down to the demon being black and her Nita, sorry, Nita being Indian. So I like that. I like the reference there.
Well, what band that was singing this song in the beginning
Um,
with the reference? What's the name of that whole song, boy?
Not Boney M. That's the group that, right, Boney M. Yeah,
I think it's Bodhi.
that's where Gap, that's the
Yeah.
demon, that's where he gets his look from, right? Basically, right? So I
References,
like
yeah.
that, right?
You're right,
I
yeah.
also like these slight little references to Grindhouse cinema. It's like there's these like they do the thing where the character imagines herself doing something really like evil. So, and this sort of switches into that sort of like
Right.
greeny film kind of style like you would see off of like a Grindhouse movie or trailer. That was
Right.
cool, right? Even right down to the text and all too is very Grindhouse inspired, right? But story wise is nothing too out of the ordinary. It's very much like Death Note. A character discovers he has the has the power to do stuff and change the world, right? But it involves the killing of people, so it's like that, right? And it doesn't really like reinvent the wheel in terms of that. The kills and stuff are stuff that you've seen before. But it's just really the historical subtext that I really love about it, though, right? And even the way how it ends, though, which caught me by surprise. I actually like that, and I love
Right,
that in a sort of like a ironic, but also in a hopeful kind of way. It's like, yeah, at the end, the minorities winning this, right? So that's the best way to really sum it up, right? So
right,
while I was not in love with this episode, though, I admired it. I thought that it was solid business for what it is. It is long as well too. It's about an hour and like what 20 minutes I think, or 15 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it tells a story. It's entertaining. I thought that Papa was really entertaining as Gap, and Anjana Vasan, who plays Nida, she is quite believable as Nida as well too, right? That timid character who is
right.
forced to do violent acts as well. But again, it's just treading on very familiar territory, and again because it's going on a supernatural route. Because really, the only thing we really that kind of like makes it feel kind of Black Mirrorish is kind of like it's just more like references to like how times were back in the 70s. Like, oh, this kind of music people listen to when they put on the TV. That's the kind of
Right.
shows people watch, and there's this weird sci-fi show. And you're like,
Okay, so I don't know. I
what?
don't
What I
know.
mean? But stuff like that does. So
Right,
that's like the only Black Mirror is kind of things that you see there. But yeah,
right. Because I heard when you tell me the Red Mirror thing is a thing, I was like, oh, that's doing a thing. So Red Mirror gonna be a show now then.
right. So if this is like the beginning of this brand new series, because I'll actually get to my final thoughts on this right now, right? So if this is like the way how they're gonna end this series off, probably not on a strong note, I will say, right? But
Right,
if it is that they're gonna actually do Red Mirror, right? I'm actually like genuinely interested in that, right? Because just mainly
right,
because of the 4 year gap between season 5 and 6, right? I think that now more than ever is a time that you can kind of branch out and do something different, right? Because you kind of wait,
right.
yeah, people wait long. They waited, we got this, and I would just say in general it was just kind of mid,
Underwhelming.
by Black Mirror standards.
I felt right. Okay, so this kind of justified this because my attitude is this is gonna straight up say it. Episode 3 and 5 should have excised entirely, and then it should just have 1, 2, and 4 should have been longer. Right, so that could have been the whole season. I don't want to mind that because all of them tie together, which is the industry, right? It's a commentary on the industry in some way, shape, or form, right? One is about filmmaking, with Netflix and the whole that whole machine weird machine feature that hopefully or it's hopelessly it depends on who you talk to come forward. The second one will be just outright filmmaking, and there's the dark side of that and the price you pay for that because the thing is, even though he pay a big price for that whole thing, the town end up flourishing because a bunch of people come to the town and you know or whatnot. It's just he pay a personal, very, very, very big personal price, right? Um, but they make it work, like for what it is. And still, episode 2 is probably my favorite. And then episode 4 is about the paparazzi and celebrity culture and that whole back and forth, especially the mid 2000s. Yeah, that period from 2005 to 2010, it was real bad, like really bad in terms of like Michael Jackson and Britney Spears and all that weird shit on reality TV. And it was really, really bad. So I get what they was going for and the character. So where they went with it was kind of interesting to us. Again, I wish they fleshed that out more and made it longer to make it work better. And that's about it. So it's just about this self commentary on the industry itself and making fun of Netflix because they call it Streamberry, blah 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 blah. But yeah, overall, this was one of the weaker seasons of Black Mirror, in my humble opinion, if not the weakest season.
Agreed. And the thing is, it's not like we were waiting for this, no. Because again, 4 years, right? Like, dude, 2 seasons of Twilight Zone came and went, between that time, right? So I wasn't like really overly excited for this to drop, but at least I was expecting it to have that same quality that we come to expect. But I think that in terms of just the weight, though, yeah, it just didn't stick the landing, right? But I'll just give my rating just overall for this season here quickly. For me, like the decent 3 out of 5, man. It's alright for what it is. But yeah, it is the weakest of these of the show thus far. But I do suspect though that we will get Red Mirror very very soon actually. But will this be the end of Black Mirror? I kind of doubt it. But I think personally we could get at least one more season, and then we could kind of move headstrong into Red Mirror if that's the plan. I don't know, but yeah, I think we could start a wrap up on the whole Black Mirror thing, if anything.
Yeah. Let's say with Black Mirror. Black Mirror is one of those things. There's only so much you could commentary on modern technology with it. Like it's only so much you could do now. So it kind of became a kind of parody of itself, and a self-referential thing about it, and so on and so forth. Like it is only so much. To me, it could only so much you could do without it just kind of getting into self-parody, and that's why it almost got into that this season. But I felt if they really focused on the whole self-referential metatextual aspect of the film industry in general, and the entertainment industry, and TV shows and whatnot, it could have worked because I thought a lot of that stuff was great, especially the first and second episodes. Those really nailed that conceit. Like, yeah, I get that, and it makes sense. Perfect timing involving the writer's strike and whatnot. Now it is like the most relevant in the industry itself. Whatever. Yeah, rating. Yeah, I give it like a 6 out of 10. I didn't hate it. Um, but it was still, yeah, they could have do more with this. It just I wish, and it's like, and Charlie Brooker wrote some of these. I'm like, really, you wrote this? Come on, man. I thought you'd get more from this. Whatever. But yeah, I dug the hell out of it for what it was. But yeah, I really wish we got more. Personally, just how I don't see it is just drop the episode 3 and episode 5. Put that to make them do their own thing. Like just have Red Mirror be Red Mirror, and just make that a Red Mirror episode and done. And then to me, episode 3 should have straight up been a movie, in my opinion. Like put that somewhere else, market that as something else on Netflix.
Actually, the premise of it is very much fit for a
Straight
movie,
up
to be
as a
honest.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's straight up a Netflix sci-fi, like something that Anthony Mackie could be, something like that, whoever. Like, something like that. No, yeah, I find showing up a little too much. I find showing up too much in them thing. Eh? But yeah, just that last thing, just take it and write it up for it is, and then they make it work. And then just put these 3 episodes as one thing, and then have it be that shared team, flesh them out a little better, as the kids say, punch them up. That's a little term in the industry, and yeah, that's about it. But yeah, rating 7 out of 10.
I thought you said 6. Ah.
No, 6. Yeah, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Yeah, sorry.
See, I catch you there, right?
Yeah, catch you.
But yeah, I mean, Black Mirror is, it's on Netflix, so if you're a fan, check it out. But if you expected it to live up to that 4-year wait, you will be disappointed, like for sure.